The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause they saw. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this.
We're going to keep just Xing that one out at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Korner Booth pregame. Is officially championship weekend. I am your host, Jared Clem, alongside my amazing co-host, the TikTok sensation, Jake Smigglesworth, a.k.a. Swagoo, Mr. Matt Ordazzo, rocking a very schnazzy hat. Obviously, we talked about this last week, but it's for our dog, Caesar. If you are looking, all proceeds go to, obviously, to his family. And shout out to our boys at Craft Brew for putting out these amazing, amazing gear. Hats, stickers, both available at the link. Also will be available. We'll post it again. I believe it's already on all of our pages, but check it out right there. Matt got his. Mine should be in Monday, so I'll have it for a Monday show. I'm excited for that because my dumb ass forgot to order it last Thursday. I waited, but like an idiot, and I ordered Friday night after I got home from the bar and realized it's not going to be here until Monday. So what are you going to do? That being said, folks, Chris is out today. Unfortunately, the poor kid got stuck at work. So you are getting a double dose of me, Matt. Me and Josh are doing Belly Up After Dark after this. So by the way, stop in after this show at 9 o'clock Eastern time on the same channel. Me and Josh, our boy Hector, and a surprise guest will be doing another rendition. You're going to watch me embarrass myself talking UFC, which is going to be fucking hilarious.
Ooh.
That being said,
that'll be fun.
I'm going to have to be texting Matt for like pointers in the middle of the freaking show. That being said, this is probably my favorite weekend of the year for football, besides opening weekend, because it's just there's two games. Everyone's watching. There's always some drama, and it's always a good time. So once again, I apologize for technical difficulties of logging on late. We'll be obviously on for the next hour and a half. Our amazing guests today are Josh Mahler of Mahler Rising to the Occasion and Mahler Bros Golf, and as well as our boy DJ Stewart, and possibly another third guest. He's told me he's running late. I just said, hey, listen, if you want in, you take it. So that being said, it's championship weekend. We're talking. I love the trend that's going on right now, Matt. I don't know if you've been seeing this. I think I sent you one of them already. It's the Lamar Save Us trend, which is just amazing. People are talking.
Just saving us from another Mahomes Super Bowl.
Saving us from a Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift Super Bowl.
Ooh. You know what?
It's so funny. I love it. I love the trend. It's become amazing to me.
I'm not I've warmed up to Taylor Swift being at the games. She doesn't do anything. She just kind of sits there. So I'm like, oh, I can get behind this. She's not pouring champagne and stuff on her fans or calling them out like Brittany was or doing the shit that his brother was doing. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I can get it. I can get behind Taylor Swift being at the games. And then I just remember, like, I look behind her and there's Brittany Mahomes hugging her. I'm like, oh, man, but her. I can't do it. I don't know. She annoys me. And the brother, I will take Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift combo all day because his brother has not been on TV one time. I have not seen his brother on TV, which is fucking amazing after a TikTok boy and the waitress thing. So I'll take it if it keeps him off TV.
I'm for it as well. I think my favorite thing about all of this is that besides seeing them like once walking on the field at Arrowhead or wherever the hell it was last week. It might have been Arrowhead 2 weeks ago. It's Miami, but
yeah, it was Arrowhead.
I love how quiet it's been. And the best part about that weekend was the Jason Kelce thing. Jason Kelce almost makes me not hate the Chiefs, but I still hate the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if it helps you out, it was credited more towards the Bills fans because he said the Bills fans' energies were contagious. But yeah, Lamar really is a savior. But here's the thing: like, I'm 50-50 confident in him taking down the Patrick Mahomes. I got to look up what his career record is against Mahomes. I think Mahomes has the edge, but Lamar is also. I think he's now 2-4 in his playoffs since he was 1-3 before last week. So he won. So I think he's 2-4 now. And Mahomes has already got how many starts and wins in the playoffs right now. So he's way light years ahead of Lamar's stats in there. But I don't know. I really don't want to see another Chiefs Super Bowl. Like nobody wants to unless you're a Chiefs fan. So Lamar's my only hope. I don't have full confidence in it because it's Mahomes in a playoff championship game, and I think I sent it to you already. Apparently, the specific ref they put for that game.
Yeah, that's been the other conspiracy going around. It's been driving me nuts.
Yeah, I'm still pulling for Lamar. I think it's their year. I really fucking hope so, but I can't do another Chiefs one.
My favorite part about this is that I did call this in the preseason. You asked me who's my Super Bowl pick. Or no, it was midseason. I said, who's my midseason prediction? I said, it's Baltimore. Like, Baltimore is the team that's going to win. So I'm fully convinced of that at this point.
I saw the perfect post about it all. It said the Super Bowl that we all want, which was it was what was it? It was Ravens Lions. The Super Bowl we're all expecting to get, which was Niners Ravens. And then the last one was the Super Bowl we're most likely going to get no matter if you want it or not because the script's already written and it said Lions and Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that I don't know, I think the Super Bowl nobody wants is 49ers versus Chiefs.
That's what it was. Super Bowl nobody wants. So yeah, Niners Chiefs. I don't need a replay. We already know fucking Kyle Shanahan's not going to get the job done against Andy Reid in February.
And then Reid retires, and fucking Belichick is the new head coach of the Chiefs, and we're all miserable.
There was a hot debate at my job the other day. Who was a better head coach, Andy Reid or John Harbaugh? I was staying neutral. I was
My
listening.
brain just fried itself a little bit.
But personally, I would take Andy Reid right now.
It's Andy Reid, and it's not even close. John Harbaugh's a great coach, don't get me wrong, but Andy Reid is one of the greatest offensive minds ever.
And I've seen Andy Reid have success with, I don't know how many quarterbacks between Donovan McNabb to Alex Smith and now Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying John Harbaugh doesn't have the track record. I mean, he won with Joe Flacco, and he's been doing some pretty good things with Lamar Jackson, obviously. But I don't know, man. Andy Reid, not only is he one of the best coaches in the NFL, he has probably one of the best coaching trees that you can hire off of.
Yeah. I think the only one might be as good. I think like the Sean McVay coaching tree or the Jay Gruden coaching tree. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how Jay Gruden's coaching tree is highly impressive, but Jay Gruden was a shit coach?
I also would blame half that on Dan Snyder. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. But I don't know the genuineness of it, but I remember reading something where I think it was like their old running back Matt Jones was hooking up with a girl, and apparently it was the same girl Jay Gruden was hooking up with, and he benched him because he was angry that they were hooking up at the same person, and because he benched him, the guy that replaced him in that game missed a block, and that's when Alex Smith's leg got all fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something I read on Twitter years ago, but that is just one wild story if that is true.
It's insane, man. Every story you hear coming out of Washington is just hilarious to me. I at this point, nothing ever surprises me anymore. So I just kind of roll with it. It's more like our boys at Craft Brews to play this game called, is it a tweet from, I think, Troy Polamalu or something, or is it a guy from my high school? And it was honestly the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. No, it was Devin Bush. And Mike was playing this game, and it's starting to turn into, is this a Washington Redskin headline? Oh, I'm sorry, Washington Commander headline, or is this a Mad Lib? Like, that's how I'm starting to look at this franchise now. It's like I can't take it seriously.
Yeah. They've been, ownership-wise, they've been a laughingstock for years. So we'll see if this new regime can actually restore some sort of credibility and respectfulness with them. But while we're on the topic of the Commanders, they're one of two teams that still has a head coaching vacancy right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No. Yeah, because the Atlanta Falcons hired Raheem Moore.
Yeah. So it's the Seahawks and it's the Commanders. And I don't know what everybody else thought, but going into this, my big three was Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh, and Mike Vrabel as who the top three best candidates are for a head coach, even considering coordinators and everything like that out there. But to my surprise, it's just John Harbaugh that's got a job right now with the Chargers, and Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick are still sitting out there, and both.
Well, the Titans hired what's his face, Callahan or whatever his name was from
Titans. Brian Callahan from the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem Morris went to the Falcons. The Panthers signed some Buccaneers coordinator that it just looks like such a panic hire. I don't know why you weren't. I don't know. Panthers are another whole thing. I don't know if there was any more. I know Harbaugh's in the Chargers. I think that covers all the other ones, but yeah. So now I'm I definitely think Vrabel is going to get a job. I would assume it's Seattle. And then I've been hearing that the Commanders aren't going to make a hire until after the weekend. So if the Lions are eliminated, everybody's saying that Ben Johnson's going to the Commanders and then Mike Vrabel's going to go to Seattle, which means Bill Belichick sits a year out. Does he come back? I know he wants that Shula record, I think.
Yeah, he wants a Shula record. I think he was thinking that maybe Philadelphia would open up or Atlanta wasn't going to be so gung-ho about getting
Dallas, maybe.
Raheem Morris. But ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the man who's in this marathon with me tonight, he's getting a full Jared Clem experience on a Thursday night. Because not only is this dude going to run one with me here on the Corner Booth podcast, he's also going to do our usual bi-monthly show. That is the show we host together. That is Corner Booth. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not. It's Belly Up After Dark. Jesus, I need a beer. Here's one. This gentleman hosts the amazing show, Rising to the Occasion, with my main man, Jeremy, and the other co-host, who I apologize, name escapes me right now. He'll fill me when he gets on the show. But by the way, if you haven't checked on Rising to the Occasion, they are an amazing group of dudes, amazing coverage of college football. And by the way, I believe it's the highest viewed show on Belly Up Sports right now, and they earned that title. Also, founder of the amazing golf company, Mahler Bros, ladies and gentlemen, my main man, Josh Mahler.
And that was the introduction of a lifetime. By the way, it's Blake is the other.
It is Blake. You know what? I was like, it's either Blake or Blaine or
I screw up and say Blaine all the time because it's Blake Lane. And
Jesus,
back in the OG day, I used to always have to email him the link and stuff like that, and his email was like B Lane. So I would always have to catch myself saying.
And not Blaine, our semi-robotic boss here at Belly Sports. Josh, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Been down with some sort of nasty bug or something because I've been coughing and all kinds of stuff and mucus and just gross.
So but finally, whatever the hell made their way out to you finally.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's been here for a while. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I haven't felt sick. It's just it's there. It's definitely there.
No, I feel you, man. But listen, we're happy to have you. I'm happy you're running this marathon with me. I was like, who better to ask to do this with me to understand what I go through on these Thursdays than the dude who's running it side by side with me. Last time, though, I think was it the first week of January? It was beginning in December. I think I did 2 shows. I think I was falling asleep on the last show. I couldn't keep myself awake.
And I made sure to mail him a bunch of Monster and NOS and Red Bull, drink it all, mix it all together.
I had a triple espresso before I left work. I think we're okay.
There you go.
So that being said, buddy, we're chatting about the coaching openings, right? And I don't think anybody on their bingo card had Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel still being here, and we're almost at the Super Bowl. I thought they would have both had their jobs by now. Looking into this from an outside perspective, because you don't really have a primary football team you root for. You're a college man first. What do you think about all this? Because now the Harbaugh to San Diego, I thought Harbaugh was going to wait to see if somebody got fired post Super Bowl. He goes to San Diego or Los Angeles now. You have two primary candidates still there, and they're not getting hired. You have the Titans taking a very young and experienced head coach, and you have the Panthers taking somebody who I didn't even know was a coach in the league. So, what is your as an outside, as a college fan who loves pro football perspective? What are you thinking about all this right now? Because this is just a weird situation for everything. Do you think Vrabel goes to Ohio State, even though they have Ryan Day, or they think he goes to another college? I don't
think he goes to Ohio State just because at Ohio State they have drawn a blank on old Jim something for the defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles. They got Jim Knowles in a couple of years ago from Oklahoma State, and then of course they just got Bill O'Brien over there. Man, I'm worn out already too, and it's only just beginning. But yeah, so they've got Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator. It would make sense based on what Ohio State's doing, because they're just stacking the boards like, hey, why not add another defensive guy? But I don't think he goes there because they already have a defensive guy. I thought it was ridiculous that the Titans ever got rid of Mike Vrabel. I didn't like the fire at all. But man, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking around. I do think it's kind of weird when you look around. I would imagine the Seahawks feels like a really good location for Vrabel, just because that's already known as kind of a defensive, a defensive team that's got a good defense around them, and I think he could pull more guys there. But yeah, I mean that one was really weird to me. It didn't surprise me at all that Jim Harbaugh left. In fact, it surprised me that it took him so long to leave. I figured he would have been gone pretty quick. I think it was pretty evident by the players there that he was going to leave, because you saw all of them kind of announce that they're going to the NFL whenever they, like JJ McCarthy. I don't know why he would go to the NFL. He's just not ready for it. But
he's another year to bake in the oven.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we talked about that last After Dark too, about him. So it's just there was everything kind of boiling down there, where it shocked me that it took so long, and then finally the news comes out, and really it was always the Chargers. I don't think it was ever really the Falcons. I think the Falcons just wanted to pretend like they had a shot. But yeah, I mean, Belichick, that one, I don't know. It may not surprise me as much, just because I don't think Belichick is who he once was, and I don't think it's just because of Brady. I think they complemented each other really well, and that's kind of why Belichick fell off the end whenever Brady left, because they complemented each other. I don't think it was just because of Brady though, and that was pretty evident even before Brady. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if teams are really ready to pick up Belichick right now or not, just because of how the past 4 or 5 years have been for him. Mm-hmm. So that one doesn't surprise me too much, but I do think he's going to get picked up somehow.
I also have a theory. He might just take a year as an advisor.
Yeah.
Because I think, Matt, you brought this up right before Josh hopped on. It wouldn't be the worst thing, because let's say he goes and pulls a Vic Fangio, goes to like a team like Philadelphia or Los Angeles or I don't know, New York Giants or something, and just says, hey, I'm going to take an advisory role. I'm going to help out, be around football, take some notes, not be a Mike McCarthy and be a hermit for a year, and basically just see what happens, right? Let's say next year, God forbid, the Sirianni thing fails for Philly, or Dennis Allen finally gets fired in New Orleans, or McVay finally retires after he's been talking about it for a fucking decade. There's a lot of, and then also you have our resident Patriots fan coming in here.
I mean, I agree with what Kev is saying, because I think a big thing is probably Bill wants to continue to have the personnel power that he's had in New England. I don't think teams are willing to give him that anymore, given the fact that you're a 72-year-old man that hasn't had success in your personnel, department for a little bit now. And I like his next one. He's going to pull a Doc Rivers and join as an advisor and then be a head coach once they fire the current head coach. That's very Bill Belichick-esque, I feel. Yeah, I think it's a realistic possibility. He sits out the whole year. Maybe he comes back next year. Maybe he does the advisor role like you mentioned. To me right now, I really don't see anything that points to all signs to Bill Belichick being the – I don't even hear anything about him meeting with Seattle. And then Washington, I think the same thing, but I hear they're very high on Ben Johnson.
I could
And
see him more maybe settling into some sort of office role because I think that's what he's just best at. I think he's a good coach. Don't get me wrong, but ultimately, what made him such a good coach back in the Brady days was because he was able to get guys like Julian Edelman that nobody saw, and he was able to get guys like Wes Welker and Gronk and all these guys that you really wouldn't have seen in there. He found them, and he was the guy responsible for all of those big time players. So I think that's the better of the two. I know he was trying to step down from the office role to play the coach, but I think he should have gone the other way around and gone and played office role instead of being a coach.
maybe take
Breaking
a look at
news.
this. Ooh, I like
Breaking
this.
news out of the MLB: the Arizona Diamondbacks have signed former San Francisco Giant and former Los Angeles Dodger and former Atlanta Brave Jock Peterson.
That's not breaking news.
Yes, it is.
Well, for you, it is.
Yeah, I haven't checked in 3 hours. So I was driving and working and everything else. I haven't checked my phone, but hell yeah, Jock Peterson.
Breaking to Jared, okay? Leave him alone.
You know what?
Yeah.
Breaking news to me. So Jock Peterson, even though you've played for 2 teams I absolutely fucking hate and 1 team I get annoyed by, welcome to Arizona.
I was hoping you were going to say the Yankees trade for Corbin Burns. Maybe next time.
Didn't he already get moved?
No, he's still there.
Oh no, he
Somehow.
it was Josh Hader got moved.
Yeah, Josh Hader got moved. I think a giant 5-year deal or something like that. I think he was given when he was traded. The Mets have not done anything. That's breaking news. All this talk on the sports radio about King Cohen and all this money he has, and they will not be outbid, and they have nobody. They were like, all right, we're in on Aroldis Chapman and Josh Hader since we didn't get any of the top prospects we wanted or whatever. And an hour and a half later, Aroldis Chapman goes to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I think the Mets not doing anything was breaking news like 25 years ago, though.
Yeah, we had like those 2 off seasons where like it wasn't breaking news. Like, oh my god, the Mets are moving, making money. They're making moves. Now it's like, yeah, they're kind of the Mets again.
Yeah, their last giant offseason I can remember was when they had like Beltran and Carlos Delgado and all those guys from like the 2015 year, I think.
2005.
Yeah, still didn't win.
That's what I'm saying, Must the Mets never win.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand being a Jets fan, I get it. To win the offseason, to not do shit with it.
Or you win the offseason, you start to do something with it, and then like 4 seconds in, it ruptures.
Yeah, you win 101 games, you go to the wild card, and you lose in the first round. That's not good. They pulled the Miami Dolphins where they had the division that whole time, and at the very end they let the Braves swoop in and steal it like the Bills did, and then they just get knocked out round 1.
Yeah.
I think still my favorite, or you could be the LA Dodgers and have the best record in baseball, then get swept by a bunch of 22-year-olds.
Yeah. Did you, not to change, I don't even, you won't want to call it a sport, change companies. Did you hear about this Vince McMahon stuff?
I have not. I don't really follow
I-
wrestling, so you guys got to fill me in here.
I would have had no clue about it. I would have never heard about it if it wasn't for Ryan McCarthy actually posting that in the Belly Up chat. So, hats off to him. He helped me learn breaking news about something that I don't really think I care too much about, honestly. But it is kind of crazy a little bit, just because he's kind of getting some allegations coming out. But I don't know. It's weird to me when things happen this far down the road. You waited this long to finally come out about it. That's the only, I don't care that you wanted to come out, and I don't want to have disbelief in somebody that had something like that happen. But why'd you wait so long? That just doesn't make any sense.
So somebody fill me in here. I have not checked my phone.
I got you.
Clearly, because of the Jock Peterson news, you guys should know I'm literally like 2 hours behind everything. So you guys gotta light me up here. Like, what's going on?
So earlier this afternoon, Vince McMahon was accused of not only sexual assault and sexual abuse, but sex trafficking with an employee within WWE. So apparently There was an employee whom Vince McMahon hired and was just pretty much doing sexual favors with, and was apparently like, it got so bad, it was saying he was recruiting people to have sex with her as well as other executives within the WWE. He apparently in 2020 defecated on her head during a threesome. He allegedly forcefully used sex toys on her, various things. And apparently he named all the sex toys after WWE superstars. So imagine him saying, you're going to take the Big Show right up your ass. Like, how do you just
Well,
yeah, direct to the dome.
The document that Ryan shared, McCarthy, it says complaint against the defendants of the world, WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, that's the executive.
Plaintiff Janelle Grant is a former employee of WWE who was the victim of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking at WWE. Ms. Grant is filing this lawsuit, not just addressing her own suffering, but also to act for those who are afraid to speak out. And then it kind of goes on talking about, these guys. So the billionaire founder and the executive chairman. So these guys were like kind of doing this together. I mean, it's almost like an organization of working this stuff. I mean, that's it. I mean, the only thing that will make me not feel this weird, like kind of, because right now I'm always, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's always how I stand. That's how this country is supposed to be. And so that's where I stand. So you're innocent until you're proven guilty. But if you have a Deshaun Watson case where 26 other girls stand up and say, yeah, this happened to me, and they're all kind of telling stories that all collaborate together very well without really knowing each other, yeah, then I'm kind of on board with them. And it's kind of a sucky thing for the WWE because they just now started doing some big things to finally get their name back out there. They partnered up with the Big 12 with the title belt. And then I think they were trying to do something with another league here soon coming up too. So, I mean, they've been doing stuff to try to get their name back out there and do big stuff again. And now this comes out. I mean, this could destroy the WWE.
You know what's crazy about all this is that growing up, the WWE, either you made fun of it or you loved it. At least in the way I grew up, right? And when you brought up Vince McMahon with allegations, I'm like, wait, wasn't he already getting nailed with the Me Too movement? Like, I was like what's changed, right? And it really just comes down to me, like, the wrestling world, and maybe working here has exposed this to me more because we've had more wrestling shows that I know what to do with, right? And listen, I am never gonna knock somebody for liking wrestling because, like, obviously, like, like everyone freaked out when they saw like the Edge on that Percy Jackson show, right? That was like trending on TikTok for like a week. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's playing Ares, sweet, like that's kind of badass. And I love his intro music. It's awesome. But
and he's actually good at acting. Who would have thought?
Right? It's almost right. Not all wrestlers suck at acting. Dwayne Johnson. That being said, like, I grew up because I knew about like wrestling because I saw movies with John Cena in them. I saw The Rock, obviously, and then like The Longest Yard had about 45 professional wrestlers in it. It's like that's how I got exposed to it. But I don't know. As somebody who really never was a fan of the thing, I tried watching it once and I was just like, this is fucking terrible. I'm sorry. I shut that shit. I think I turned on a rerun of like an old bowl game from the year before, Josh. You would have been so proud. I think it was Miami, West Virginia, 2016. Like I think it was the Outback Bowl or something, Chance Sports Bowl, where Brad Kaya threw for like 5 touchdowns, whatever it was. I was like, oh, cool, Miami football. Turn this on. I was like, oh, this happened 8 months ago. Don't care. And that should tell you everything. But I get the popularity of it. The biggest problem to me with wrestling, and this is where it really comes in, is it is entertainment, and there's a lot of good that's come out of it, and it makes a lot of people happy. But the WWE should have cut bait with Vince the second those allegations. And if he's innocent, like in the Deshaun Watson case, dude, there was a lot of weird shit around that case. Now, he could completely be guilty. And honestly, he probably is. But there's also a lot of sketchy shit on the defendant side that, as a person who just looked at things from a straight angle, I was like, that just feels odd to me, but okay. Either way, we had this conversation with Jabberjaw back when he came on the show. Well, Matt, was it like last summer when he came out? Yeah, it was like after all this shit broke and freaking Cooper and one of our other writers was getting into it on the Belly Up chat. It was crazy. And I said to Jabberjaw, I'm like, listen, I'm never going to accuse somebody until I know for a fact or he's been accused of public court or law, whatever. What kills me is that this whole Me Too movement, if there's that much damning evidence, like this Vince McMahon shit's getting that bad, if I'm WWE, I'm like, Vince, you're on suspended leave indefinitely until this clears up and just cut bait. Because marketing-wise, this is a fucking nightmare. Especially, like you said, Josh, they're doing so many big things with all these college football leagues, and now they're kind of hanging the balance, their PR. That PR department's got to be.
We're doing something with the UFL too. You know how the XFL and USFL are
yeah,
joining.
Because the Rock is.
I feel like they were doing something there too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so I thought they might have been doing something with them too, but I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, I think like it's just it's terrible because it's one of those things like, man, one guy can ruin it all, and that's totally what this is. You know, I don't know. It kind of sucks for the WWE, but I'm right there with you. I always wanted to get into it, and I always tried. There were certain guys like Rey Mysterio. I was always a fan of his, just because whether you want to believe it's real fighting or not, he was still pretty talented and flipping around and stuff like that. He was always my favorite. There was other guys like you brought up, like John Cena, The Rock, that you see in movies and stuff. So you like them, but I was kind of the same way. I couldn't ever actually get into it. I love the video game. The video game is cool because you're actually fighting in the video game, So, but overall, I think the video game was more real than the actual WWE.
What's the funny I think about wrestling? I like the personalities outside of wrestling, not the actual wrestling. So in that aspect, the WWE good. Like I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's fucking hilarious. I follow him on Instagram. I've never watched him in a wrestling match ever. I love his beer. I love his opinion on I love his politics. I like, I love like following him on TikTok because he's got this fucking cat named Poncho who carries around on all of his views. It's hilarious, right? As somebody who's a cat owner, I get it. And also, it's kind of funny seeing this big machismo, bald man who plays villains in every movie I've seen him carry around this 15-pound fluff ball around his ranch with him. It's kind of cool. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the co-host or host, I don't know, they flip a coin every week for it, of High-Low Sports, a very close personal friend of mine, the stunt double for the Hunter Renfrow biopic, where I think I don't know who we're going to get to play Josh McDoofus. It's going to be interesting. DJ is in charge of casting for this. That being said, this man is one of the smartest human beings when it comes to pro football I know. He is an avid Indianapolis Colts fan and one of the most hilarious human beings I've ever met. Watch out for the snippy comebacks. Ladies and gentlemen, the referee of Corner Booth and our resident version of AJ Hawk, DJ Stewart.
You forgot to add to my resume future flag football MVP as well, too. Just getting that.
Well, listen, I'm playing quarterback in Canton this year. Y'all about to see a cannon arm.
He couldn't be MVP this last week this last year because he twisted his ankle, but he's going to be the MVP this year.
Yeah, that thing was a balloon. That was stupid.
Listen, I'll throw Kelsey any day of the week. He may be taller than me, but I got a better arm. Maddie see me drunkenly throw a ball across a parking lot. So
yeah, Jared just only knows how to do one thing, which is just throw heat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we had quarterback. I don't know how we didn't really like discuss who was going to be what position. We just went out there and figured it out on the go.
I can do whatever, but like the team belly up this year is getting an upgrade. You get me and Maddie coming out this year.
I thought it would have been awesome to see Kelsey just full speed running down the field and just plow into dudes. Who's going to get in his way?
Somebody tries to grab his flag and just gets truck stick for their efforts.
Yeah.
Well, I listen. I think still the worst football story I had was we had this like quad football league my freshman year of college, and I don't know if Matt ever heard the story, but like me and this kid me and Matt used to roll with, were playing in a game. It was like midnight. It was like after the Super Bowl. It was like it was getting really cold. It was about to start snowing, and we were playing with this brand new Wilson GST. But when they come out of the box, those footballs like fucking bricks, and I roll out, I drop, and I got a kid open in the back of the end zone. I rip it at him. I almost broke 3 of his fingers because I hit it here, and I threw it so hard the kid's face got whacked with his own hands. Still hung to the ball, but it was Matt. It was Willie. I don't know if you remember Willie. He used to hang with me and Pat all the time. He was a weird dude, but he fast as a motherfucker. But anyway, that like flag foot. I also played a couple flag leagues as an adult, which was good. So I'm actually kind of excited to play in that tournament. I already took off the PTO to leave that Friday morning and be there by whenever the fucking thing starts. So I'm excited.
As you should be.
Matt, you're going to make it too, right?
Yeah, no, I already told Matt he's coming, and there's no negotiations there. So
when was this again?
It's the second weekend of August.
I don't know, man. You got a smartphone? Look it up.
It's August 10th, 11th, and 12th, I think.
Yeah, well, I can't. Yeah, we'll see. Depends on the birthday schedule for her family. Her sisters are born within a couple days of each other. I think it's in August. I can't remember if it's July or August. It actually might be July.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Here's the thing. I told my boss the other day, just don't expect me to be around for like most weekends in August. Like I'm going to be gone on vacation at the end of August for my usual trip to a certain island off of Cape Cod, and then the beginning of August. I think the weekend in between, I'm going to Saratoga Springs to see my favorite country band play, and then before that, I go to the fantasy football convention. Just know every weekend in August, I'm gonna be fucking going crazy. So putting some miles on the truck. I think I'm flying out to Cleveland. I'm not going to drive it. I've done that drive. It's a bitch. I'm not doing it again.
It's like 10, 11 hours. It's too much.
I drove it. It's like 15 hours for me.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because
anything over like 3 is too much.
Josh lives in fucking corn country, man. It's a whole different ball game.
I
got to go 2.5.
I probably drive like, I don't know, 20 hours a week. So
I was just talking to a dealership up in Cleveland actually this morning after work, and I was just chatting with them. I'm like, you know how long it would take me to drive to you guys to go check out your products? He goes, how long? I'm like, I don't know, a good 12 hours straight. And he goes, that's awful. I'm like, yeah.
And if it's more than like 2.5 hours, I contemplate flying. I can't do it.
No, my limit's 5. I can do anything. 5, I'll do. I've done the Virginia and back. I did Baltimore and back in one day. That was crazy.
Nope.
Longest I drove in one day, I did 15 hours. Southern Virginia to Connecticut.
For shame.
I was a mover. I wasn't flying. We had a big ass truck with us.
I'm not saying for shame that that's the highest you've gone. You haven't really lived until you've done 24 straight.
My sister and her ex-boyfriend drove from California, I believe, to Dallas in one day. LA to Dallas in one day, but they stopped in New Mexico and Phoenix.
Jeez.
Yeah, no,
they next to each other.
Well, no, they stopped. I remember they were telling me because they knew I was a Diamondbacks fan, so they stopped in Phoenix to go see Chase Field. And then they went to New Mexico to go see the Breaking Bad house, and then they made it all the way, I think, to Dallas before it was like midnight, and their car almost overheated. So,
see, I used to live in Ohio. My family's back here on the western side of Iowa / Nebraska in that area, and so I would drive from Ohio. I know there was one time where I drove from Ohio out to Nebraska, and then my mom and I drove. So that was like a 12.5 hour drive, and then the next day my mom and I drove 8 hours down to Oklahoma, stayed there for a day, and then the next day come back another 8 hours back there, stayed a day, and then went back to Ohio. So I was just, driving after driving after driving, just all kinds of driving. So
that sounds like the worst 4 days of my life.
Yeah, I've always grown up where my family's always driven a long ways to go see family, and then now I work a job where I'm driving all the time, so I don't think it bothers me as much.
Yeah, I get calls from Josh. I'm like, hey, what's up, buddy? He goes, oh, I'm driving next 6 hours. I'm like, fuck that shit.
Meanwhile, if
my truck and I'm ready to fucking kill somebody.
If the distance exceeds like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, my wife's family has a hard time getting out there to go visit people. We're all talking about driving 15 hours for family. They're like, 30 minutes? Nah, it's too far.
That's how my grandma is. She won't drive out, 20 minutes out to my parents' house because it's too far.
What put in perspective, when I was a contractor back in like 2021, 22, I I would have to drive to like Stanford, Central New York, Southern New York, down to like almost like the city and back. Like I'd be doing jobs all over the Northeast, like the Southern New England tri-state area, and I would be doing maybe 2 hours of driving at minimum a day, and it made me really understand how like lame a fucking 30-minute commute was. So like I think I was working at this contracting job, and I went up to Boston to go visit Foxborough to go visit Kevin and my cousin. And I was like a 2-hour drive. I'm like, this ain't shit, man. This was quick. And I realized I'm like, I've been driving like Stanford back-to-back days. By the way, for those of you who are not from the Connecticut area, from where I live, there's no direct way to get to Stanford. You have to basically go down, around in New York, and then back into Connecticut because there's no direct way to cut across the rich people towns. So, or you go down and then across into literally Satan's asshole, aka I-95 in Fairfield County. So you literally will just sit in traffic. Like the worst, there's two really bad parts of I-95. The interchange, no, three bad parts. Fairfield County, the interchange in New York City where you go from 95 to 87 to Tappan Zee Bridge, that whole corkscrew-looking monstrosity in the North Bronx, or the Beltway. Besides that, not a bad highway. I honestly don't mind it that much.
Disagree. 95 between Richmond and DC is absolutely.
I forgot you're fucking north of DC or south of DC.
South of DC. That between those two in Fredericksburg, that's hell. People die there for fun. Like I-95 as a whole is a travesty.
Yeah. I've been on it once you get south. So like South Carolina, North Carolina, it's not bad. But
that's because they're all running from hurricanes down there. I'm talking about where people live and shit.
No, 95 in Miami, I heard, is fucking terrible.
95.
You still in Ohio, Deej?
No, I'm in Richmond.
Oh,
a little bit, yeah. So I know the 95 death a little too much.
Yeah, fair enough. By the way, Chris texted me in his picks, and we do 6-pack in about 2 or 3 minutes, or a couple minutes. We'll be ready to rock and roll. That being said, Deej, I kind of wanted your opinion right now. I had a take, and I wanted to ask you, Matt, and Josh about this. I think one of the most underrated moves that nobody's talking about is that
Vic Fangio.
Fuck you. All right. It was Vic Fangio. Listen, I loved his defensive scheme in Denver. I thought the problem was that he was never cut out to be a head coach. Now, he made Miami an elite defense before the injuries. Now he gets to go to Philadelphia where he wanted to go in the first place if Jonathan Scumbag Gannon didn't tell Philadelphia, oh, I'm going to stay. I'm not taking the Arizona job. Then takes the Arizona job. And Howie Roseman says, yeah, don't get on the plane. Just go to flight. Just stay here. Go get your interview. So I found this out after. So I found this out like last week, apparently, with the Gannon story, by the way, that he told Eagles personnel he was not leaving and then was leaving. So basically that's why Fangio went to Miami, because Fangio was the Eagles advisor the entire that entire back half of the season, advising the defense, actually making it good. And that's probably why Jonathan Gannon got the job in Arizona. Fucking scumbag. And Fangio takes the Miami job because Gannon takes forever to take this Arizona job. And, Fangio's like, I don't know what the hell is happening, so I'm going to take Miami job. Then, like a day later, Gannon's gone, and we're stuck with Sean Desai's dumbass. The poor kid has no idea what he's fucking doing. And now we're stuck with the dickhead who fucking shoves a pen in his fucking ear. Like, I am a Belichick adjacent. I know what I'm fucking doing. Like, basically, we lost a year because Jonathan Gannon's a dipshit. So, I am very happy with the personnel we have already and the personnel we'll probably add in the offseason with this Vic Fangio signing. Now, if you want my honest to God opinion as an Eagles fan, we will have Frank Reich will be our OC. DJ's boy Frank Reich will be our OC by the end of this month.
Frank Reich's a great OC for them. That's a really
or
good...
your other dog with the best name in football, Jim Bob Cooter.
I hope he doesn't leave. I like Jim Bob Cooter.
I love Jim Bob Cooter, but Chris, I told Chris what his name was. Chris lost his fucking shit. He was loving it. By the way, I feel bad Chris couldn't make it tonight. Melvin, our boy Melvin Do. If you don't get that reference, go check out our Monday show because we went back to the Scooby-Doo movie for about 20 minutes and Chris went into his feels. So, yeah, I love like my candidates, I love Frank Reich. Eagles fans are fucking delusional. I think we're getting Eric Bieniemy. I doubt it.
I
don't want to be Bieniemy because Bieniemy wants to be head coach. I want an old grizzled vet who doesn't want to leave, who just wants a fucking paycheck. That's Frank. Frank loves Philadelphia. He doesn't want to leave. He didn't want to take the fucking Colts job, but Josh McDaniel didn't take it. So he's like, I got to give it a shot at being a head coach. I want Frank. I want two grizzled, old, grumpy head coaches who are going to tell Nick to shut the fuck up on the sideline and just be the gloating, motivating jackass he is and let the two old guys coach. Well, Nick Sirianni's at his best when he's jacking his players up, when he is taunting fans, when he is getting in the refs' faces, when Nick is being Nick. When Nick is at that's when he inspires his players. He's an instigator. He is a pain in the ass. I talk to fans who are not Eagles fans, right? Like rival, like Giants, Cowboys, Skins, Saints, Chiefs, whatever. They hate Sirianni, right? Because he wins and he's annoying about it. It's great for Philadelphia. Nick works, but he needs good coordinators. Fangio makes sense. Vic wants to be close to his family. His family's in Southern PA. It makes all the sense in the world. That's why we want to take the job in the first place, but Gannon fucked that up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I like Nick Sirianni. I think he's a good coach. He's proven that, with the right coordinators, he's proven that. So he made it to the Super Bowl, for goodness sakes. So I like him. I think getting rid of your OC was the right move. Mm-hmm. And then I guess the DC makes sense, but I don't know if you can coach broken tackles. I don't know if that's really a coaching thing. I think that's when it finally. Yeah, but I think that's finally where I draw the line between the coach's fault and the player's fault. Whenever you're just slipping tackles, like Trey Palmer running, what was it, like 52 yards or whatever. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I can fix the Eagles defense in four swings. Here we go. So one, cut James Bradbury. The old man, I love James, had a great season. GJ warned me. He said it last offseason. James was not good. Keep Darius Slay, but ask him to restructure. Start Keely fucking Ringo. He is going to be a Pro Bowler. This kid, listen, his biggest problem is he's overly aggressive. He has a little too much Asante Samuel where he'll try to attack the ball early, but that's something you learn from a grizzled vet like from Darius Slay.
Like from DJ, yes, you're right.
Yes. The other one is start DJ's boy, Isaiah Rodgers. This kid was a monster before he got suspended for gambling. And, oh, by the way, we got him on a veteran minimum contract.
He's a goon. If he's able to play next year and comes back, that's it.
We also have Eli Ricks, by the way, who was like one of the best nickel corners in the NFL when he played. So let Avonte Maddox walk in free agency or sign to because he was great at the nickel. We tried to move him to safety. He was atrocious. Pray Sidney Brown's ACL heals fast. And for the love of Christ, spend your 27th overall pick on Cameron Kitchens. This is not Miami bias. He fits our system. He is a ball hawk safety who goes and attacks the ball and can play center field. As much as I love my boy James Williams doesn't fit our system. Cam Kitchens does. Put a hurricane. Howie, I know you're a Florida Gator. Put Cam Kitchens in that back end with Sidney Brown, who's a thumper and loves to play down around the middle of the field. That defense will be elite in a season. And the final and fourth step is sign a fucking middle linebacker, you cheap bastard. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is you need to, I don't know if you want to find a veteran linebacker or find a really good rookie that can work his way into the role. I think
it's a vet. I want a vet.
I think any franchise wants a guy that's proven, but I think the linebacker role was definitely what I saw, either a linebacker or maybe like an end rusher. But for the most part, I think your linebacker is kind of really what kind of, broke a lot. But like I said, too, you just have to instill that dog in these guys and make them want to tackle somebody instead of being scared and slipping off them.
I feel bad for Nakobe Dean because when he was on the field, the Eagles defense was different. The problem was that the poor kid, the Liz Frank injuries fucking suck, by the way. But what happened to him just was terrible. So to Howie's defense, and nobody ever remembers this, Nakobe Dean was supposed to be the new linebacker. And when he was on the field, he was not elite, but he was great. and then it was him and Zach Cunningham, and then done for the year out of nowhere. Or he's on IR, comes back, plays one game, done for the year. So like the Zach Cunningham pickup was amazing. Guy played great. Re-sign him, give him a decent deal. Shaq Leonard was a failure. DJ, you warned me. He did have the one good game against New York, which is great.
He had two good games. Let's take it
Nick
easy.
Morrow should be jettisoned into the sun. Cutting Christian Ellis was fucking stupid, and we regret it. I regret it. And yeah, maybe Josh is right though. Like maybe getting another edge rusher to replace Derek Barnett, because Barnett's physicality is what was missed at the back end of the season. As much as DB's penalties drove me nuts, my dude would just abuse tackles. He was a thumper. He would just hit and wear down offensive lines, and that's what made Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick so good, is because you had him and BG beating up offensive lines. So by the time that Reddick and Sweat, who were much superior talents, would get off the edge, they're worn out. That's what led to both of them having 15-plus sacks last year. So I agree with that. And also, I think Nolan Smith came on great at the end of the year, which would be good to see going forward. I think Philadelphia has a lot of promise, and I'm done talking about my Eagles for the rest of the show. The defense, it's just about adding a few pieces. And I swear, I'm telling you right now,
I didn't think the coaching was the issue, mainly just because, like I said, you had the guys there when they needed to be there.
It's the scheme.
They just didn't break. They didn't tackle.
That was the last game, Josh.
No, I saw that throughout the season, though. I mean, you saw that earlier in the season.
Yeah, but also leadership inspires, right? Play calling, coaching, and belief
Definitely.
in your team. What I noticed on tape, because I've watched, so you got to realize, as a guy who watches way too much film than I should, probably why I'm still single. I watch every Eagles game twice. Okay, so the last 8-9 games of the season, the scheming got fucked up. And as much as Desai used to drive me crazy, at least Desai had an idea and a game plan. When Patricia was in there, except for the Giants game, there was no plan. It looked like a baseline, like when you're playing man against your boys and you're fucking hammered. So you just call cover 2 or engage 8 or single high Mike press, right? Like 3 basic defensive plays, and you run that the whole fucking game. I did not see any variation. There was no blitz pickups, and I swear the sacks went even farther down. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, and I hate using the TikTok meme, like, the Tony Stark built this in a cave with a bag of scraps. Like, Jonathan Gannon has the IQ of a fucking potato, and he got these guys to a record-setting amount of sacks. How do you two geniuses fuck this up? So the Eagles defense is going to be
quite that bad after all. He may have been a dick at the end, but he was a pretty good. He knew how to coach up defense.
Listen, also, I think Darius, CJ Gardner-Johnson hurt us a little bit in the back end. Also, James Bradbury, just needs to retire. That he has no go anymore.
I warned you.
Yeah, you did warn me. So that was my thing. I think the Vic Fangio signing is a sign of good things to come for Philadelphia. I think that I would have loved to see if we couldn't get. I didn't know Vic was available. I was like, oh, I'm all about Riverboat Ron, baby. Let's go. But
one thing Vic will do is he will fix the linebacker room. You can make a case he's the best linebacker coach of all time. And between Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, just going down the list of guys that he's coached and throughout his time.
He's going to make either Nakobe Dean an all-pro, or he's going to find somebody who will be.
Even he'll at least make them competent. They got to fix the secondary still. I think with Vic Fangio, it'll fix the pass rush, which kind of withered down the stretch. I think they'll be able to they'll still have to fix the secondary. I'm not going to go in on James Bradbury because I've already gone over that. He's great when the pass rush is getting there in 2.4 seconds. Promise he has to cover for 3 is when he was getting in trouble. The safeties, everyone loves Blankenship, aka Jeff Heath, but he's got to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Blankenship's gone. I'm done with this. Like
You want to talk about your Eagles the rest of the show? It's my turn to talk about your Eagles. You said it, not me. It's my turn to talk
all I'm going to say about Blankenship is he's good when he plays downhill.
Yeah, he's a torpedo. He's Jeff Heath, but in a different colored jersey.
A little less 40 time, a little taller.
I said what I said. They're both white torpedoes for that play safety. My point stands. But either way, Darius Slay might actually want to make that move to safety as well, too, because you put him in that back end, Isaiah Rodgers. put Isaiah Rodgers in there as well. Keely Ringo, we'll see. They need to bring in another corner. They need the more corners, the merrier, because you still got to fix the middle of that defense. So I think having corners on the outside, you could play more. You can have Darius Slay in the middle and fix those linebackers up. But first things first, you've put 3,000 picks into your defensive line. They can't play like they did in the backstretch where they couldn't pressure anybody.
Well, Jordan Davis, I swear to God, looked like he was drunk on every fucking play at the back end of the season. I don't know what the fuck happened. Jalen Carter, everyone's like, where Jalen Carter go? I'm like, he was double and triple team the entire fucking back half of the season.
I still need him to get in there. In the run plays, he wasn't really making as much force either down the stretch. So he's a rookie. That's fine. He just held too high of a standard in those first couple months.
Where the fuck was Hassan Reddick all year?
Hassan Reddick still had like double-digit sacks. He just took it.
Which is crazy. It's just like he wasn't as like dominant as he was in the back end of the season. Josh Sweat had a rough back end of the year. Like the fact we had to rely on Brandon Graham to make plays in that playoff game was just terrible. But
which is where I think Vic Fangio will fix is I think the pass rush in the front seven is where he specializes and always has, which I think will
also
help.
Vic, you're welcome to Philadelphia. You get one more year of Fletch, you get one more year of Brandon. Make it count, please.
They don't get to start though. They're rotational.
No. And even Fletch and Brandon know that. They are captains who sit on the bench. They acknowledge it.
They come in on random NASCAR packages when they want to run 7 defensive linemen just to piss people off.
Listen, the greatest double team beater of all time is my man Fletcher Cox.
And then offensively, Frank Reich fits. Bring in somebody who's a competent offensive coordinator at this point. Brian Johnson was all fun and dandy, but that was a failed experiment.
The only person who I would say maybe I'm okay. Like the other two candidates I've heard, what I'm like, I'm okay with both of them. But the problem is they want head coaching jobs. Is Kellen Moore and Cliff Kingsbury. I like both of them, but the problem is show me a guy like Frank who's going to teach Nick how to coach offense.
And on top of that, Frank's what's he's known for, the RPO on every single damn play. That's going to fit right back into what their offense does. He likes to attack the ball downfield. They're going to run a shitload of screens. It's going to piss people off sometimes, but they're going to get back on the run game too.
Almost like we have two running backs who are good at that in Gainwell and Swift. But, if we scheme it correctly, it works.
The last thing I'll chime in on with Frank, though, is you said he didn't want that Colts job. Oh, yes, he did, because he had a top 3 pick and Andrew Luck coming back healthy. He wanted that job damn well.
Allegedly coming back healthy.
He did come back healthy that year.
Oh, no, he played. Yeah, 2018 was the 1 year he actually played what?
Yeah, he was like third in MVP voting that year as well, too. Like he was cooking. Only second to Patrick Mahomes BS for touchdown passes. So he thought he's getting Andrew Luck in a top 3 pick. He wanted that job. It's everything.
I felt so bad for Andrew Luck after that game, but I know that's a whole different ballgame for you. All right. So
my brother's wedding date. So right after we got done, right when we got started, I get the notification. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So basically, his wedding is forever ruined in my life.
Fair enough. All right, Deej, you kind of came a little bit late. We're gonna hop into picks in a minute. We're gonna talk playoff football. The news of today, obviously, we have Raheem Morris and Jim Harbaugh both signing the last 24 hours between. What's your thoughts on the both of them? I'm kind of in between. I feel like the Falcons, obviously, they didn't want to give up player personnel job to Belichick, but I feel like they could have at least concessioned, maybe meeting him halfway. I feel like Raheem Morris, it's just going to be another mid signing.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Raheem Morris was an interim coach there a few years ago as well, too, and they decided not to re-sign him, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, you said no to bring him back. And I love Raheem Morris, but not there. I don't like him there as much. I want him to go somewhere else. I like Harbaugh with Herbert. I think that's a good fit. He's gonna have to fix the team up a little bit because that team's kind of a mess. But you give him a quarterback. We know what he does with the run game. He's a very old school quarterback. Kelson and I talked about it yesterday. He's gonna run I formation more than everybody else in the damn league, which is gonna open up some. Herbert's gonna have some shot plays to take. There are going to be some shot plays. The question is, will Quentin Johnston catch them? But we'll see. But I like the Harbaugh to the Chargers. Everyone says he's a Michigan man. He's really a California kid. Between Stanford, the 49ers, now the Chargers, that Harbaugh's home basically in California. I like Raheem Morris. Atlanta, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know. I like Raheem Morris. I liked him. I wanted him for the Colts if they didn't get Steichen or Johnson or any of those guys last year. I would have been fine with Morris, but I don't like him in Atlanta because they need a quarterback and they need an offensive mind or at least a head coach. Morris could be the coach, but they
go get one of these OCs out of college and say, hey, listen, you are now going to light this shit up. But unless they want to be a ground and pound defensive team, which they have the running back core for it. So it's they have the secondary for it too. Like Atlanta's defense was not bad at all. They need a fucking pass rush, but yeah.
They have everything except an edge rusher, a quarterback, and a head coach. Three of the three most important things, but everything else they are jam-packed loaded.
Well, I mean, hey, listen, you want to talk about it? Like elite. The last compatriots they had was Johnny Abraham. So,
R.I.P. John Abraham. Not that he's dead. Just watching him play was fantastic.
also, I mean, they had that one season where Vic Beasley had like 15 sacks.
We don't count that because that was an anomaly. That never happened again.
Steroids. No. All right. And all right, so ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for America's favorite game, presented by the amazing people at camps.com. Promo code BELLY20 for 20% off. It is time for the six-pack. Today's six-pack beer is a dark chocolate peanut butter cup stout by Thomas Hooker Brewing here in this Connecticut. It is a phenomenal stout. Scotty Kaiser approved of Craft Brew Sports. That being said, folks, we have two games, so it's a two-pack. So, Maddie, it's basically down between you and me. You have a 5-point lead. And we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna do this Super Bowl. Like, are we gonna wager different things for different points? Because if we don't do anything, we just pick the game straight, Matt basically could walk away with this. So we'll have an announcement on Monday after these games for what our rules will be for the Super Bowl. Because I feel like we need to make sure this is interesting. Because I've been just nipping at Matt's heels the entire season. Poor Chris has been taking shotgun shells to the shins, except for that 1 week, that 2 week stretch where he went undefeated. By the way, the kid goes undefeated picking games and doesn't gamble on those games.
Shotgun shells to the shin and shotgun beers to the mouth. It's been a rough year for Chris.
Hey, listen, there's a reason I call him 10 toes up, 10 beers down. Melvin, dude, don't fuck around.
R.I.P. to his liver.
It's okay. The poor kid's still stuck at fucking work. I feel bad. Anyway, we're gonna start off with the NFC Championship game. This is the game that has less importance to the universe. Lions and 49ers, the line's open. The line as of an hour ago was at -7. At this point, I'm just taking shots in the can here. I'm going to take the Lions. Here's why. A much worse Packers team took this team to the freaking limit. And if it wasn't for them basically just letting McCaffrey score that last drive and Jordan Love throwing the most Brett Favre interception of all time, he's still shaking his head about that one. That game, that fucking throw killed me. I'm all about Detroit's Cinderella story. I know there is a very good chance it could come to an end tonight, but I love the whole Eminem back in Detroit with Jared Goff kind of trying to get the Stafford shadow away, and the fact that it started with them beating Stafford was awesome. And then even last week, with them being able to knock out the Bucs which honestly was a closer game I thought it was going to be, in the game of the gone but not forgotten quarterbacks who were tossed away for no fucking reason by disrespectful teams. The Redemption Bowl lived up to its hype, obviously. But Goff played phenomenal. And the amount of weapons that Detroit has with the fact that they're able to move the football with ease. And, oh, by the way, they have in the playoffs an elite level pass rush that just has come out. I mean, obviously, Hutchinson's incredible, but they were living in the Tampa Bay backfield. And y'all remember as much as I do from last year, when Brock Purdy gets pressured, Mr. Fifth in MVP voting is going to make bad mistakes. That being said, give me the upset pick here. Give me the Detroit Lions to shock the world. I don't know if they're going to win the fucking Super Bowl, but fuck, they're going to get there, and it's going to throw the fucking world in the tailspin. So give me Detroit to pull off the upset here. I think the 49ers way too overconfident in their abilities. The fact that Debo's playing at 50% does not make me feel confident in this offense. So give me the Lions.
I'm going to go opposite here. I'm going to take the Niners. Last week was a very close game. It was a game that I didn't think was going to be as close as it was. Niners had the bye week, shake a little rust off. They lost Debo Samuel for the early portion of that game, and he was throwing to Jawan Jennings. So I will agree, though, with Brock Purdy. He's that kind of quarterback where he has a game plan, and when that game plan doesn't go the way that it's supposed to go, he just kind of doesn't adapt well to change during the game time. And watching him lose his biggest target in Debo Samuel last week, he looked like he just looked like a different. I mean, I know they still won the game. He just didn't look like his same usual Brock Purdy self. And he just looked like he was really thrown off his game when he couldn't throw to Debo and he had to throw Jawan Jennings instead. Cam Newton could be right when he says he's a game manager type quarterback. But I think they get the job done here. I think the defense contains the lines. I think the Lions cover, but I think the Niners win this game at the end of the day. So I'm going to take the Niners to advance to the Super Bowl, which is my pick to actually win the whole thing if they get there.
There we go. All right, Deej.
Kind of in the same boat. I think the Niners will still win, but the Lions are going to cover. 7 points is a large spread, especially when 19 problems has 19 cracks in his shoulder right now. That there's no way he's going to be 50% out there, and he's a big part of their offense.
He also practiced too.
Yeah. And on top of that,
he's had bad shoulder issues, dude. I feel for Debo, man. It hurts.
I live with
this too. Like he dips that shoulder into people. It's not like he avoids contact.
Yeah.
He beats it and tries to kill people. So that's a bad thing for him to have. And Detroit secondary still can get got. If they don't get a sack, they get toasted basically. So
I'm looking for. I have a feeling Kirby Joseph's going to come flying in and crack him square in the shoulder.
100%. But I'm thinking, or his knee. That's kind of his strong suit is going for knee.
I mean, I feel like at this point he'd be like
I think
applied
it'd be Kittle.
areas.
Kittle that's get taken out by that.
Right.
Kittle's impossible to get taken out. People bounce off of Kittle and they die. One does
Can
not
you imagine, fellas? Can we just also think about this though? If the Lions win the fucking Super Bowl, I feel like that would restore a lot of like good vibes to the world.
Either that or would be the official end of the world. Either way, we're getting.
No. Official end of the world is if the Chiefs win the fucking Super Bowl. Let's be honest here.
No, that's just status quo that we're still in hell. That's all that is at that point. That's just.
I've accepted that the world will end before the Jets win a Super Bowl.
No, the world will end before the Commanders win a Super Bowl. Or no, sorry, the Panthers. The Panthers are the new Commanders.
You're going to pick the team that doesn't even know what their name is. Come on.
Well, I mean, listen.
Obviously, they're not going to win a Super Bowl.
Listen, the poor Panthers, until David Tepper sells them, will never make the playoffs. I will shave my head if they make the playoffs in the next 5 years.
If the Panthers or the Commanders win the Super Bowl,
I feel like they're going to get lucky with Bryce Young at some point.
I've already downloaded the video.
If either the Panthers or the Commanders win the Super Bowl before the Jets do, just call a welfare check on me because I'm probably not alive.
Yeah, right. All right, Josh.
I'm right along the same lines as Matt. I didn't totally agree with what you said about Brock Purdy not being able to adjust. I think a big part of him not adjusting was the fact, like what you brought up the first part, that they had to shake some rust off. They took a bye week. Not only that, but I also think you're going against the Packers. You can relax and win this game easily, right? And whereas this game reminded me a lot of the 2023 Michigan against TCU game, where TCU had nothing to lose and everything to prove and went out there and just fought the absolute hardest they possibly could. Michigan went out there and kind of overlooked their opponent, didn't play very well. And that's why TCU won, where this game is only different because the 49ers realized, guys, we fell asleep and we need to wake up. And then they go out there, score late. And then, of course, kind of putting a lot of pressure back there on Love. And it's a young guy mistake. So, you can't blame him too much for his first playoff appearance this year, right? Because he didn't make it last year, right?
Nope.
Didn't think so. So, yeah, I mean, it was a game where what do you have to do to move on to next week when you're in the playoffs? You just have to win. And that's what the 49ers are going to do. I think they're going to do the same thing against the Lions. They know how tough the Lions are, though. They're not going to do the same thing that they did against the Packers. I do agree with all you guys. I think it's going to be kind of a close game. But I think the Niners win. I'll be rooting on the Lions. I hope the Lions win. But I do like the Niners in this game. They're just the better team overall. I mean, they're stacked all over the place. Even without Debo Samuel, because I don't think Debo did a whole lot this season overall. And so he's a good player.
Fantasy can confirm.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't do a whole lot. So Debo is a great player. I think he definitely adds an extra X factor to the team where the defense has to look out for him. But I'm going to take the Niners. I think they win this game pretty comfortably.
There we go. All right. Now moving on to the game that America is talking about here. The game that this game, our episode is titled after this. I realize the episode's name is Only One Man Can Save Us. The fact that we talked about is the intro of the show about how there's a trend that everyone is talking about how everyone in the NFL is behind Lamar Jackson here. Yeah. Ain't no fucking way I'm picking Kansas City. I don't want to see a fucking Taylor Swift Super Bowl. It's not. I don't give a fuck about the whole Taylor Swift thing. I can just ignore that shit. I can turn the TV off, whatever. It's the Chiefs.
That's fair. I say leave Taylor Swift out of this. All she did was
Mahomes.
exist. We hate the Chiefs. Let's all get on the same page
That
here.
stupid motherfucker Brittany and her brother-in-law. What's the dipshit fucking name? Jackson.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Listen, the only Chiefs fan I love and respect is
we just got copyrighted.
Travis's brother, Jason. I love Jason. Jason's my dog, man. Philadelphia Eagles center, all-time legend, top 10 all-time center. Here's the thing. I can't do it, man. I can't. After last year, listen, if the fucking Chiefs kicked our ass up and down the field last year, I would be like, you know what? Good for them. They're fucking there. It took a bullshit ticky-tack call to beat us. And Jonathan Gannon quitting on us halfway through the game.
And a turnover, a scoop and score.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about Miles Sanders.
You can blame the ticky-tack call, and I'm right there with you. I think it was a stupid call in the wrong moment.
Hey, listen,
you can also blame things
last
outside
call
of
is the only call that matters, Josh, when it's that close. That being said, listen, also the fact that we had no running back basically the entire fucking game because Miles Sanders was a chicken shit. Carolina proved that this year. Yeah. I don't want to see Kansas City ever win another fucking meaningful football game again. You paid for your soul on that one. You don't get to get it back. So give me Lamar and the boys. Throw on some Young Jeezy. Fuck Drew Lock. This is Lamar's song now. And he's putting on for the entire country. All football fans. So give me the Ravens here. And they're going to cover. I think Lamar is the hero we need, not the hero we deserve.
Help us, LaMarvelous Jackson. You're our only hope, is what we're looking for at this point. He's the only one that could stop the dynasty at this point. And on top of it as well, I think I'm just going to go quick. I think the Ravens win, but the Chiefs are going to find a way to cover it. That 3.5, 4-point spread's low. They're going to find a way to cover that just to piss people off. But I'm going to say the Ravens still win. I think defensively they'll cause some issues. I don't know what the over-under is yet, but I feel like this could be an under and a half. I think both defenses could be they just match up goofily with both offenses. So I'm looking at the under of this one. If it's like 45, I'm cranking the under.
I totally agree.
What's the weather in Baltimore this weekend? I think it's supposed to be clear.
A little chilly, but like not terrible. Not some bullshit.
The weather is who cares? They're both grimy teams that are going to fight it out no matter what.
Also, MVP quarterbacks with top 2 defenses, weirdly enough.
I think the key to this game is going to be Odell Beckham Jr. and Rashad Bateman are the 2 keys to this game. Because we all know the Chiefs are going to be zoned in on number 4 and Mark Andrews.
By the way, there's a good chance it's going to rain Sunday.
I mean, it's going to be the Justice.
Has Mark Andrews been cleared?
Apparently he's playing. That's the word. We haven't had it confirmed, but the word, he's supposed to play last week.
I would be surprised if you don't play him, even if he's like 65%. I want to make the Super Bowl. This is my last game, really. That's how you got to play each game right now.
Yeah, and like that's
Mark Andrews is better than 85% of other tight ends. He just has to exist and be a big ass motherfucker on the field.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the other game, how like the Lions went and got Zach Ertz.
Ring chaser.
Hey, listen, a ring chaser comes up clutch if you need it. Let's ask Ray Allen.
I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying.
No, listen. My mom was all sad. She's like, my mom's an Eagles fan like I am. And she goes, oh, I was sad. I wanted Zach to come back to Philly. I'm like, Ma, he's just chasing a ring. He don't give a fuck about anything else anymore. He wants a second one.
Watch him score the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl again. Wow,
listen, we'd be proud of him. Okay, Philadelphia, we owe Zach a great deal of appreciation. when he's throwing a little temper tantrum diva shit back in 2021, weren't happy about it, but whatever. Dallas is the better tight end.
He scores the game-winning touchdown and beats the Chiefs. I'm buying a Zach Ertz Lions jersey.
I will too. I will buy a Zach Ertz Lions t-shirt because I'm a cheap fuck.
That's true. You are a cheap fuck. I'll buy a jersey on Mike.
Hey, listen. If you just saw how much I had to drop on ammunition this week because of fucking the laws in this country, you don't understand why I'm not buying a fucking jersey.
How much it costs for me to exist, you'd understand.
Yeah, no, DJ, I get it. I was talking to one of my Masons today at work, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to reasonably understand why I have to buy what I'm buying right now." And he goes, "Why it costs so much?" I'm like, "Because people suck, Danny. People suck. That's why." He got realized he's from Guatemala. His accent's a little broken. He goes, "Why so much money?" And I'm like, "Danny, because people suck, man." Anyway, that's why I won't be buying a Zach Ertz. I would buy a fucking my dog. I'm on Ross St. Brown though. Also, I have a pact to myself. I will never buy any team's jersey but Philadelphia Eagles. T-shirt, sure, whatever. But
just get a Zach Ertz tattoo if he pulls it off. You can get him in an Eagles.
No. Tattoos are sacred on my body. If I put it on my body, I believe in it, love it, live it.
Just get it branded then.
Even worse,
put it where hardly anyone will see, like on your buttocks.
Brands because it's was done authentic tribal style, and Matt's seen exactly what I'm talking about. 18 layers of ink. It is still elevated above my skin. I won't have to get a touch up on it till I'm 70.
Get a Julia Ertz tramp stamp then.
Ooh, that I'm actually interested in.
There you go. There everyone has a price.
Well, I mean, her and my future sugar mom was Miss Alex Morgan.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Miss Josh Allen.
Oh, well, listen, Josh better watch his shit, man. I'm coming for this.
Yeah, it's been Josh completely tripped.
Listen,
I got $5 on Josh.
I fight dirty.
He'll jump over you.
Yeah, he'll hurdle you.
I'm a quick draw, man. It ain't gonna matter if he jumps high enough.
He went to school in Wyoming. He's a quick draw himself. He had to do it to stay alive with those damn buffalo. You ain't got shit on him.
I just have to show him a picture of Patrick Mahomes. He'll shrivel away.
No, that's Sean McDermott now. That's
no,
Sean
sorry.
McDermott.
I'll show him a picture of Tyler Bass missing a field goal.
Well, then you're just going to get shot real quickly by Josh Allen. He's going to use the howitzer attached to his shoulder.
All right. Yeah. No. A coin. I'm going to show him a picture of a coin flipping in the air.
That'll probably get you shot too. Maybe you should just not be anywhere near Mr. Haley Steinfeld ever again.
That's okay. I ain't going last. All right. Anyway, I am going with the Ravens. You guys, how have you picking?
I think DJ picked, right?
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens, but the Chiefs are going to cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
No, you go last, motherfucker.
Oh, he's going last?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll go, and I'll start off by saying, because you brought up Taylor Swift, and this is a rant that I've been on since this whole thing ever broke out, is everyone's throwing a fit, and they hate the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift, and they hate Travis Kelce for dating her, and blah, blah, blah. The people who complain about it are the problem with the NFL right now, not the NFL showing her on TV, not the people that are pointing the camera, because who cares? It's for 5 seconds at a time here and there. I don't care. But I look at the Ravens. The Ravens are obviously the better team. I think the Ravens are the team that should win this game. But for some stupid reason, I look over at the Chiefs, and I recognize that they just don't know how to lose key games, and big time games. I was at the AFC Championship game last year, and I absolutely hated the way that they won that game because it just didn't feel like a valid win. But they won the game regardless, and they just find a way to win, whether you want to call it cheating or not, which may be on the side that I err on. But the Chiefs just find a way to win, and honestly, I think because of all the Taylor Swift hate, and I think just because everybody hates the Chiefs in general, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win this game personally, and they're going to go on to win the Super Bowl.
How am I going to be able to look you in the face for the next hour and a half?
I'm just speaking truth. Do the Chiefs lose, and do they not win Super Bowls? That's just what they're going to do. I don't know. It feels like one of those situations where I can't look at the Chiefs and be like, yeah, I'm going to root against them. I think they're going to lose. They just find a way to win, man.
I am just personally, you have to understand. For me, I can't root for the Chiefs. I rooted for them in 2019. Because fuck the 49ers, obviously.
And you know what? I like you said too. I like both the Kelce brothers, and I like Jason Moore. The fact that Jason's rooting for the Chiefs is really hard for me to root against
I
him
don't
rooting
care.
for the Chiefs.
Listen, and the other thing was like, and like Satan worked for God. What was your point? Like, I don't care. Like, here's the thing. It's like, at the end of the day, I look at the Chiefs. I love Big Red. I love Isaiah Pacheco. I love Travis Kelce. I don't give a fuck at that point. It's war to me. I am a full-blood bleeding purple Ravens fan for the next 72 hours. The second that game ends on Sunday, as long as the Ravens are winning, it's good to me. But at that point, as long as I am a Ravens fan until they play the Lions.
I think I'm just cheering on and advocating the demise of the entire NFL world. I just love the fact that everyone is going to be tortured by the Chiefs winning this game.
Cry for stupid reasons, and you won't see them cry more.
Yeah, you're a fucking anarchist. Fuck you, Josh.
I think I just like the fact that everyone hates the fact that the Chiefs might win this game, and it's literally everyone. And I think that's a true statement when I say just about everyone outside of the Chiefs fans.
Everyone's just sick of this shit because it's like
not only that, but shout out to my uncle, and because of him, my aunt and their sons are Chiefs fans, so I'll be rooting with them. But
look, I can't support rooting.
You gotta say that first. It makes you hate you a little less now.
That was an afterthought, honestly. I said all of that, and then I was like, oh yeah, by the way, Brian, I forgot about Brian. So shout out to him.
You gotta come at me with the family angle. Maybe won't want to cuss you out as much.
Yeah, it's only because of my family, man. I really don't want to root for the Chiefs, but I have to.
Yeah, Jared, why are you hating on the man's family? You're an asshole.
No, I'm saying if he led with the family, I wouldn't have been as mad at him. Now I'm like, well,
Dan Campbell would never do that. He'd be ashamed.
No, I just laugh at everyone being tortured. So
you know what, Matt? It's
so much for the city of brotherly love, right?
Right. They got rid of that when they started throwing snowballs at Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's fair.
Motherfucker was wearing a Giants jersey. He deserved it.
Chiefs cover, Ravens win. I agree with my gut and everything that has sanity in this world is telling me the Chiefs are going to win this game. I just don't want to see another Chiefs Super Bowl.
And I want to see you cry.
Well, you probably will.
And he's done that enough. Yeah, now you're being an asshole.
Yeah, just pick a day when you want me to cry. I could do whatever. Be a Jets fan, but it's nothing to do with Taylor Swift. It has nothing to do with. It's just everything to do with that. It's just going to be a reoccurring thing for the next 15 years that the Chiefs are always in the Super Bowl. So just one time, I would like to see something different. This should be the Ravens' year. It's going to be up to Lamar if he can actually close it out in the big game that matters the most. I think he's 2-4 in his playoff career, and I know Mahomes has, I think, absurd record right now in the playoffs. But I'm banking on this Ravens defense to hopefully bring the pressure to Mahomes and contain everybody. And if you just double Kelce and you just give everybody else, you just double Kelce. All the other receivers besides Rashee Rice are going to be good for a couple drops. Just get locked down Kelce, you should be fine. It's just going to come down to Lamar's arm, I feel like, at the end of the day. So hopefully he can get the job done. I'll take the Ravens. Not super confident. It's more of a I just want this to happen really badly pick.
Will not bet. Will say out loud, though.
Will not put any of my hard-earned money on this game at all.
No.
I will put all of my money on the Chiefs to win.
I hope you lose all of it.
And still maintain you can still live your life and pay your bills,
Hey,
Nothing
yeah, because if I put so much money on the Chiefs and they win and then I win money and I get to see everybody cry that the Chiefs won, I get to bask in both greatnesses. So
it's
no,
okay.
Title,
so who cares?
He's gonna be like Mattress Mac when he wins one of those World Series bets.
For betting on the Chiefs, who'd have thought, right? The Chiefs end up giving you one of those ridiculous numbers.
Yeah, if you told me this 10 years ago and I saw a Chiefs-Jets game and it was Mark Sanchez was playing and we were killing them so badly that Mark Brunell came in the last quarter, would have thought he would have been in 10 years, they're going to have 3 Super Bowl appearances and 2 of them are going to be wins.
Life has changed a lot since the Sanchez.
Yeah, not for the better.
No, not at all.
All right, our picture logged. Ladies and gentlemen, in about, I'd say what, Josh, 36 minutes, me and Josh will be kicking ass, taking names, drinking alcohol for another installment of Jesus Christ. Belly Up After Dark. I need a fucking sandwich. Me and Josh will be hosting along with our boy Hector and a surprise guest. I believe it's our man from the new Belly Up show.
EJ from Haymaker Combat Sports.
It's not a surprise anymore.
I didn't want to fuck up his name, even though I knew I was like EJ, DJ. I was like, I'm gonna wait until Josh announces it. That being said, me, EJ, Hector, and Josh will be talking UFC, NFL, a bunch of other great stuff. Starting live at 9 o'clock here on the Belly Up YouTube channel. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to our sponsors, Candidates, promo code Belly Up 20 for 20% off. SeatGeek, promo code Belly Up Sports for $20 off your initial purchase. And, of course, Josh's amazing company with the most comfortable golf apparel I've ever had. All Rose, promo code Belly Up Sport. I think it's Belly 50% off.
Belly Up. I think it's just Belly Up for 15.
I think it's just Belly. Yep, that's right. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys stopping by. DJ, where can we find your and Kelsey's amazing content?
Hello Sports on pretty much everything, live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. And on Tuesdays, check out Tier Tuesdays on the Belly Up YouTube page, as well as our own as well, too. It will alternate. So just Hello Sports on everything. You'll find something.
And Josh, where can we find the top show at Belly Up right now?
Just search Rising to the Occasion on YouTube. Yeah, you're right, man. We've blown up so much in the last month and a half. It's been huge. And so yeah, Rising to the Occasion. You can pretty much find us on there. We're on social media and all that stuff too. But if you want to find everything we do, it's at rising2.com, risingto.com.
There you go. And you can find me, Matt, and that goon, Melvin Do, a.k.a. 10 beers down, 10 toes up, Chrissy Blackout, lip off at all things Corner Booth Pod on all platforms. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for stopping by. We will see, me and Josh will see you folks in about a half hour for Belly Up After Dark.
Got it right.
Another installment. And of course, we appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy some football. Please do not drink and drive. And if you're going to drink responsibly. That being said, have a good weekend. Deuces.